bitches, every city in my tribe. Look behind. Booty dominate the world, peaches ripe.
Hello. I hope you're having a good Friday morning or afternoon, wherever you are.
Thank you. You too.
So I've been seeing a lot of comments of adoption over abortion. Are you okay if I talk about that?
Sure.
Okay. So my biological mother wanted to abort me, and my grandmother convinced her out of it and told her to just put me up for adoption.
Oh, Lord.
Well, when it came to actually giving birth to me, she was at that point in a really toxic relationship and was not able to give me up for adoption. I ended up getting adopted anyways, but I got adopted because the relationship she was in put her into a bad place to the point where I went into the hospital with bruises and broken bones and a lot of STDs from grown men that her partner had let me
Oh my
or
goodness.
let people use due to me. So my thing is I would have been better off health wise if she had just aborted me. I went through all of that trauma. And then after that, I got adopted into a family that was very large. I'm the youngest of 12. I was the last one to be adopted. And I went through so much trauma being in that family alone that adoption itself was traumatic, but then also being adopted into this family that is a very clean cut Christian family that DHS saw as a perfect family, great for me to be adopted into. Adoption is very traumatic no matter what age you get adopted at. You could get adopted right out the gate. My brother was adopted right out the gate. My mom was pushed in the wheelchair out to the car with him in her arms. She adopted him right out of the NICU. He still has so much trauma from being adopted. And this is my biggest thing is abortion is a lot better than adoption is in the long run. If you look at it, a lot of adoptees, yes, have great lives, but most of us adoptees went through so much trauma because DHS doesn't put enough care and intent into looking at the families and looking at how they are on a day-to-day basis, not just when they go and do their checkups or when they ask questions. If you look at sorry, my fiance is gaming in the background. If you look at
You'd be surprised how often I hear that.
if you look at the foster care system, there are over 400,000 kids in foster care every year. Most kids don't even get adopted once they're in the foster care system because they have too much trauma, they have too many mental health issues, they have too many health issues, and people don't want to adopt them. They want to adopt sweet little babies right out of the womb, and that's all that most people really care about. And so a lot of people end up being aging out of the foster care system and then having no family other than maybe the house, the foster house that they grew up in. Because you can get a lot of foster parents, but not very many that want to adopt because foster parents get paid to foster.
Yeah.
And it's about the money. It's about having that money. And they could take all of that money, buy you a couple sets of clothes, a toothbrush, some toothpaste, and some personal hygiene products, and then put all of that money towards them and live this lavish life while you're sitting there with barely anything as a foster parent. Or as a foster kid. And I think it's a lot of people say adoption over abortion, but in the long run, if you're looking at those kids' lives, if you genuinely care about that fetus and what it has the potential to become, if you genuinely care about that fetus, you would know that it is better off to either step up and adopt that child and give it a good life if you're going to fight for this, or let it be aborted, because it's going to have so much trauma from being adopted and going through the system and all of that, that it's going to have a horrible life growing up.
No, and I've
And
always said here on my platform that adoption is not the opposite of abortion, and that there's a separate set of issues that can arise from it. So, yeah, it is a common talking point I feel from pro-life, is that, oh, well, did you ask the baby if it wanted to be killed? And it's always just presumed that, you know, everyone wants life. And so I appreciate you. I mean, man, the heartache and suffering that you've endured, like you are such a strong person, and even to come on here and share that, like, it is truly amazing.
Yeah, I've been in therapy since I was in middle school. So for me, it's not too hard to talk about it at this point. I've come to terms with that's just what happened, and focusing too much on it isn't going to do much good for me becoming a better person and getting over that. Will I? And my therapist asked me one time, will you ever forgive your the people involved in your adoption? So my grandmother, DHS, my adoptive parents, stuff like that. And it's like,
I know, but we're right, 'cause
I forgive them for not understanding.
There's bad people,
but I don't forgive them for what they put me through. You have to think about, like, it's,
which is fair, which is completely
fair. There's always going to be that. My parents live a mile away from me. I live literally an exact mile away from my adoptive parents. And I am thankful that I live close to them, because they do care, and they are always there when I need help. When I, like, truly need help, they're just a phone call away, a mile away. I could walk to their house. I've done it multiple times when the weather isn't freezing. But at the same time, having that space, even though it's just a mile, has given me so much room to grow and realize. Can you not? And realize like how much I really went through. One time, my brother and I, who were very close now, we got into a physical fight. And I ran to my best friend's house, which was literally a quarter mile away, just down the road. And I called my mom, told her what happened, told her I was going to be staying there until he was out of the house, because he was a grown adult with 2 children and a wife, and he did not need to be living in our house anymore if he was going to act that way. And yeah, they make a lot of weird noises when they're gaming.
They
so
do. Yeah.
And
I admit, when I'm gaming too, like, I say the shittiest things. Like, I become a drunk sailor. Does not give a shit. Like, I'm terrible too.
I get that way just playing Mario Kart on my Switch. So
yeah, like my favorite cuss word when I'm gaming is the C word, which is like, I never use that in normal language unless I'm gaming.
Yeah. But no, I think that a lot of the people who are pro-life and say that there's other ways, there's adoption, there's all of this. If you're really going to say that, then you need to, if you're going to step up and say, there's other ways, you can do this, you can do this, are you going to front that money to go through the adoption process, finding a good family? Are you going to offer to adopt the child? Are you going to help this child have a good life? Are you going to screen all of these families? Are you going to sit there and take care of this child when they need somewhere they can go, when they don't feel safe with their adoptive parents? Are you going to help that child when it is a child, or are you just caring about this unborn fetus, which is not a baby? A fetus is not a baby. A baby, by definition, scientific and, like, dictionary wise,
the dictionary gets it wrong. Dictionary gets child wrong, but no, you're right. Biological definition is born.
Is a human being that is after birth. That's a baby. After birth. A fetus is from, I think, 16 weeks until birth. And that is...
I'm going to be on here just about 10 more minutes, so I'm going to bring another guest on, but I did give you a follow. You are welcome here anytime, and I've said this so many times before. I'm so happy that people feel I create a safe enough space as a platform to come on and share stories like yours. Like, so thank you again.
I just found you in my For You page, and I was like,
Oh, great! That's awesome.
I hope that you don't have any more people like that guy that I joined
Oh my
in.
God, he's terrible. He's one of my worst ones ever. Like he even deserved more than the toxic masculinity misogyny award I usually give out.
No, jeez. Yeah, well, I hope that your other guests are calm and collected and know what they're actually talking about.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, have a great weekend. Happy New Year.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
I'm so fucking cute, bitch.